This presentation today is change for me, and I'm going to introduce this topic by thanking the most important person in my life, my daughter, who's somewhere in the audience. If you see a 6-year-old with red hair, just wave at her. But she has taught me how to become curious and how to become an engaged parent, and for that, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I'm very excited to be here with you all. We currently live in a shift of communications. And the shift is allowing for multiple mediums of positive and negative content to surface on the internet. Our children are growing up in a connected world, standing on the shoulders of technological innovators, looking at an endless sea of communication options. But when I think about how our kids are sharing and posting, I look at the connection as a way of discourse. When we sleep, our phones are receiving text messages, and people are posting things. I want to think more about how we engage with technology. And I want to think about how our kids engage while parents sleep in adjacent rooms. This isn't connection for the betterment of society. This isn't the same as Gutenberg and a printing press. I want everybody to think about how our world is shifting. The connection that children have access to today has not only changed the expectations they have for connectivity, but the very essence of how the events are broadcasted to them and how, in turn, they broadcast the events of their lives to the world. Some kids compete for followers. They vie for likes. They have people who pay attention to online. They wake up in the morning and they look at their device before their feet touch the bedroom floor. But I wonder about how we engage, how governments make parents aware. And I think about the perils of the internet, and I think we're targeting the wrong audience. The campaigns that we have are ignoring the majority of youth, the ones who prioritize their day on the focus of a selfie or a text message, or hoping for 50 likes before the lunchtime bell. I wonder how these kids, the ones who have the potential to share, the ones who have the potential to do something completely amazing with the internet, I wonder how they are failing in our guidance of them in digital citizenship. When I think about the world in front of us, I think about the kids that move step by step, day by day, and they look at the screen in their hand. They look at the device. I wonder if those public service announcements that we have failed to address the biggest online concern and the biggest threat to our children. Not the predator on the opposite side of the world, but the child who ventures into a world of communication without the full understanding of the power and reach of their online voice. Our children today need to understand the power of digital communications and know that their ability to share with the world is not regulated only to their individual device, a text message to a friend, a selfie to a group of people. They need to be made aware that the technology markets have changed. Every imaginable industry is adapted to mobile communications, and many children learn about the technological innovations of their applications on their iPads and devices before they ever step into a kindergarten classroom. You get kids at kindergarten. Parents have them from day one. And the onus falls on parents to teach their children at an early age about media and technology. But parents today pacify their kids with technology so they can get some quiet time, or they can sit down and have a cup of coffee. In any coffee shop you go to, you'll see a kid quiet, looking at a phone. That child isn't well behaved. That child's pacified. When I think about the world in walls, I think about Martin Luther posting 95 Theses on a church door. I think about how people share and post, and I think about that one moment where a message disseminates through the use of a printing press, where people all of a sudden start paying attention. When I think about the idea of a person posting, familiar sounding tales of sense, decades of simmering discontent, new forms of media, giving masses a way to express their views, register their solidarity, and coordinate actions. That was a shift in who we were in communications. Messages spread virally through social networks, making it impossible to suppress and highlighting the extent of public support for change. If we go back as far as the 16th century or today, we have tools that allow us to change. In 1989, there was a graffiti-adorned wall in Berlin. The graffiti was placed by citizens on both sides of a political spectrum, crying out for change. The posts on the Berlin Wall reconnected a nation by bringing that graffiti-adorned wall down to the ground. That wall fell. We opened up connections, changed the course of commerce, democracy, and ideology for future generations to come. But if we fast forward from one century to the other and we come down to our current day, the 21st century, similar to the church front door, a bulletin board of sense, the world of communication has patiently waited for other avenues. And in 2004, a man named Zuckerberg allowed the world to post on a wall again, to share personal and public events, changing the course of social media communications and digital convergence forever. The Facebook world is one where the events of our lives are digitized, shared via ever-changing technologies, but with the permanency of words etched in stone. In 2007, Steve Jobs and his team at Apple, they changed how we put the world in the palm of our hand. We can imagine things. We sit there, everyday people, sharing, posting, public events, private events, all via multimedia to social media, and now we share with the world with the ease of an outstretched arm. These people share. You people share. But when I think about sharing, we're not doing this today by becoming journalists in an academic sense, but in becoming broadcasters with usernames, utilizing hashtags, sharing events of the world online with happiness, sadness, fear, and angst. Kids today, though, our kids are appearing in numerous news events, the stories delivered through traditional broadcast media, but unfortunately with this slant, prominent focus of negative use of social media. Today in this venue, I want my message to be one of positive change, not of negative awareness, but a focus on positive connections, conversations highlighting our shift as a society, addressing a need for media literacy in a connected world. We now produce and share our messages like street corner prophets to the masses without understanding of communication ethics. Our children have become broadcasters. And as we have migrated away from traditional broadcast media with editors and censor, our media world is now one where we expect our youth to have an understanding of appropriate dialogue and of content sharing. The inherent problem is one where we still try to educate to kids about internet safety, online predators, yet we fail to recognize that we haven't prepared the majority of our students for the biggest online threat they may face, their own actions. Imagine the most respected of broadcaster, television, radio, without prompt, without a second delay. Imagine that broadcaster working hard to build a reputation of professionalism, unbiased opinion. Now imagine the broadcast where the broadcaster sits, inebriated, without sober thought, and tells the world a story that allows their career to crumble down. This example is one that our children today might share. The now sober broadcaster apologizes for actions, stating to an audience, "I did not intend to share that way. It isn't who I am or not what you expect of me, not the respect I've earned over all these years of work." But the damage is done. When we think about a child now who has the same stage where they can broadcast from their home, make a YouTube video, post online, these children do this, but without the fear of a career crumbling, because the reality of the future hasn't really set in when you're 14 years old and telling the world your story via social media, because it's just a picture. What's the big deal? I can just delete it. In my work, I hear it didn't delete way too often. Our children grow in connected worlds where their daily activities are documented as if newsworthy and necessary. No matter how inane an event, for some reason it has to go online. There's this ever-present belief from a new generation of connected parents, friends, and society as a whole that it all has to be documented and put online for followers, for likes. In 2013, the word selfie was the word of the year. Not volunteerism, not kindness, not friendship, or even selfness. Selfie. Look at me, pay attention to me, see what I'm doing. That bothers me a little bit, and it should you too. For the educators in this room, the hallways of your schools are no different, where students will take a picture of themselves in class solely for the purpose of documenting to the internet that math class is quote-unquote boring. A form of truancy, I think. I'm here, look at me. At least I showed up. We could engage the selfie conversation. We could make it fun, and we could sit there and get in the pool with them and take pictures and get people to notice. But becoming media literate means more than turning the mobile device towards you and sharing a photo to social media. Media literacy means the device is turned outward, where we capture the events around the world, looking around us, seeing things, knowing when to record an event and when to put the phone down. Not only to help another human being, not to post it online because you want the likes or the subscribers, but because you want to make the world a better place. This is a balanced conversation. And the economics of social media are staggering. Billions and billions of dollars earned, spent, invested via marketing campaigns, application development, and analytics. But would it exist in its omnipresence if the user, or parents for that matter, had to invest a monetary commitment to social media sharing? Would you, as a parent, commit $1 a day, $1 a day, so your child could post the randomness of their day to social media? $1 a day doesn't sound like a lot, but $365 a year for the ability to share pictures of yourself online. It starts to add up. Could we design a want of use of social media and associated applications to engage our children, not in themselves, or a tool for pacification, but an attempt to use the wonders of technology to create a world that continues to amaze through connection, understanding, and most importantly, empathetic curiosity? Would your parents have allowed you to spend the cost of a roll of film and associated development solely to show your friends what you look like in a bathroom mirror? They would say, you're ridiculous. Today, our children are living in a world of unimagined possibility. And the onus falls not only on teachers and parents, but society to rethink education as it applies to communications. We could keep handing devices to everybody, and we can all line up in line to buy them. But when I think about technology, I want to find sanctuaries. I want to find bastions of growth and engagement where technology use becomes a secondary preoccupation and a tool that nurtures a creative spirit, a curious mind, compared to a chronic target of distraction accusations. But remember, if we focus only on developing digital citizenship, we will surely fail to develop digital leaders. When our children play sports, the use of mobile technology is secondary to the game ahead. Athletics receives respect from youth, especially as applies to the use of technology. Yet the task of studying or sleep requires a mobile device to be still close within arm's reach. Teachers struggle to get kids to put down phones, but coaches never have to. We know we're not going to see a shift to corporate use of pay to use. Free is good, and the user market wants free use. But if we see students who are willing to put the phone down to play the sport they love, why can't we harness that understanding of focus to mitigate distractions, especially as it applies to technologies and communications, especially as it applies to our learning environments? Bring your own device is an amazing opportunity for kids, but we do have to find balance. If we reevaluate how we immerse in technology, not only for our kids, but ourselves in our daily lives, if we rethink how we approach awareness of use, we will raise a community of connected youth. This community will be made up of digital citizenship, one that will demonstrate an empathetic and positive use approach to communications online. And when we think about moving forward, the community will include leaders, guided by versed educators. Students who can find comfort in the release of their technology in the palm of their hand should be of importance today. We see kids who can't put it down, and the second they do, anxiety sets in. If we capture the moments around ourselves, we're going to tell the world a story. But if our kids learn how to put the device down, they're going to capture the world around them using the most important tool they have, their minds. Thank you.